Hi, welcome to day number 42 for Dear Masteries. Today we have a letter that reads, Dear Masteries, what is the difference between Paleo and the Primal diets? And which one is better for weight loss? Signed, Paleo versus Primal. So this ties into yesterday's question, and I want to cover these off while we're talking about them. So Paleo, you don't have any dairy. You will try to avoid any saturated fats, and you want to make sure that your meats are really lean, they're organic, and really just really natural, okay? And there's no soy, no grains, no legumes, nothing like that. Now, Primal, on the other hand, you can have fermented dairy, there's no problem. Not all the time, but occasionally, so yogurts and things like that are good. Saturated fats are allowed, so you don't have to go for the leanest cut. You can go with a nice fatty steak if you want. Eggs, by all means, freely eat without any limitation. You can have fermented soy products. You can have organic edamame, which are basically the peas that you might see in Japanese dishes. And sometimes you can have legumes, okay? What they both agree on is that you eat a lot of vegetables, okay? You eat lots of proteins. You try to eliminate any foods that have gluten in them. You don't eat anything that has corn in it. You avoid any sugars, especially high fructose corn syrup, okay? One of the worst things you could eat. You eliminate any processed foods. You can occasionally have a wine or some beer, occasionally, and you always keep exercise as part of your normal routine, okay? Basically, when you're talking about paleo, you're really talking about only having foods that were available in the Paleolithic era, okay? Nothing else. So you wouldn't want to include anything that you would not have found at that time, whereas Primal really focuses on kind of increasing your options, making it a little easier perhaps to follow a paleo style of diet depending on you as a person. Now, some people are fine with paleo, some people find it a little too strict. Whereas, let's say you're looking at a high-fat, low-carb style of dieting, Primal would be a little more higher fat content, whereas the paleo would be more concerned with a higher protein and maybe a little lower fat when it comes to the differences between the two. If you're looking at high-fat proteins and carbohydrates, where that fits. A lot of common grounds, though. Of course, all the healthy base foods are there. So you're definitely looking at, your healthy, nutritious seafoods, your healthy, nutritious sea vegetables, your fermented vegetables and fermented foods. All those are included. You have your nuts and your healthy oils, fresh fruit, okay, and meats. Yeah, you're eating meats from both sources, but on the Primal end, it's a higher fat content. On the Paleo end, it's really lean meat. Okay, major difference between the two. So, what's going to work best? Well, that's really going to depend on you again. Like any diet, it's going to depend on you. What are you going to be able to follow? What makes sense to you? Does it feel better to eat higher fat, or does it feel better to eat a leaner cut? Do you want the additional options that Primal offers, or do you really like the way that Paleo is designed to keep you on the straight and narrow? So it's really going to depend. Everybody's different, and so you got to figure out what's best for you. They both will work very well. They just have a couple of different nuances between them, and sometimes those little differences make a big difference to you as far as an option if you need to have other options, okay? So I hope that answers your question. Feel free, let me know if you have any additional questions. And thanks very much. Appreciate everyone joining. DearMasteries.com. That's where you want to go if you have a question. And feel free. All the instructions are there. If you want any assistance with figuring out what's best for you, how to lose weight in the best way that makes sense for you, I can help you with that. I've got options. Go on to Masteries.com. I have coaching and consulting available. I also do have the Weight Loss Octagon that you can actually purchase to download, or you can also stream it directly through Facebook. So that's an option for you if you want to learn more about the Weight Loss Octagon, which includes virtually all of the different styles of dieting that you would see out there, and everything fits into this. So one of the keys, though, you want to try to make sure that you're either on a strategy that can adapt with you, because life changes all the time, and something that will make it easy for you to follow long term. So those are the really two key parts of it in order to make sure that you're doing something that's a transformative change, not just a quick fix diet, which typically never works out. So thanks again for joining me. If you have any questions, let me know. Appreciate your time. We'll see you tomorrow.